and welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show. I'm Adrienne, and I appreciate that you are tuned in to this episode, this one in particular, because this is a personal one for me. I'm going to share with you a journey that I'm on that I have not shared with many people, and as of the time of this recording, have not shared publicly. But I want to share it with you because if you don't hear from me in the next week or 2 weeks, I want you to know why. If there's a delay before I release another podcast episode, I want you to know why. On Tuesday, April 26, 2022, I am scheduled to have brain surgery, and it's because of a tumor called an adenoma on my pituitary gland, which of course is in the brain. I don't know if you know, but the pituitary gland is the master gland. That's what they call it because it controls so many things in the body. And so I've had a host of medical issues for maybe a year and a half or so. And many of them are the result of this pituitary tumor, which we did not know. So we happen to fall into that knowledge of the pituitary issue fairly recently. But what we had discovered was that all of a sudden I had started noticing just this weight gain in my midsection, and that has to do with the pituitary because this elevated cortisol effect causes weight gain and in various areas, and the midsection is where I have dealt with it most. And it's just like my whole midsection was reshaped and everything. And I kept pressing the issue with doctors, something's not right, it doesn't feel right, etc. But then also they diagnosed me in recent months with diabetes and with in recent times with high blood pressure. And also, I noticed differences in my sight, having diminished vision. And so this is the result of the pituitary, which the elevated cortisol they call Cushing's, and these things result from that. And so, according to the doctors, the answer to that is to remove that tumor, which is usually benign. And they say many people have this pituitary tumor and may not even know it, but really it's thrown my body in so many directions, and it's just been something else to contend with. And I've never been a medicine taker. I don't like taking medication, but I have had to deal with that for the blood pressure, for the diabetes, for all that. So anyway, the surgery, if you're listening on Tuesday, is probably underway. It's 4 to 5 hour surgery, they say, and at least 4 to 6 weeks of recovery, at least. But they say it could take months before you feel like yourself. I'm not. I'm believing that I will defy all those odds and bounce back rather quickly. That's what I'm believing. In fact, I'm still praying for the miracle that says that I don't have to have the surgery at all. I know of people who have had the same issue. I've heard of people who have had the same issue. And they were miraculously healed. I've seen so many miracles in my life as well. So until I say this, I will continue to pray for the miracle of not needing the surgery until unless time runs out. I'm going to continue to pray for that and speak that. But I know that God is God. So my trust is that whether He, spares me the surgery, which is what I'm praying for, or, He decides to have me go through it and then, be well. Either way, although I'm leaning in on that first one, but either way, I got to trust God. When you start talking about people messing with your brain, you really find out what's in you, because I don't want to do this at all. But so anyway, that's where we are. And I wanted you to know, again, in case I don't put out a podcast episode in the next week or so, then you know why. And also, of course, I want people praying for me. Now, the surgery is rather interesting because of the location of the pituitary gland. Surgeons actually go up through the nostrils. And that sounds like not a lot of fun at all, right? So performing the surgery is the neurologist and the ENT doctor. And that's how they go up through, they go up to the brain there, and again, it doesn't sound like fun, but I think if I had to pick between that and them cutting my head, I think I would prefer this. I don't know. I haven't been through it, so I don't know. But it sounds better than them cutting my head open. As far as there are a vast number of risks involved. Of course, they've got to tell you that, which, nobody wants to hear. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it was so much to process, the risks. And so again, I'm leaning on and trusting and believing that God, if I should have to go through the surgery, barring the miracle, then I got to trust that the Lord is going to bring me through, and none of those risks will become reality in my life, because I believe the Lord has things for me to do that I've yet to do. So we're expecting all to be well there. They talk about the side effects of, you lose your smell and your taste for a while, and this, that, and the third, the fatigue, and blah 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 blah. They, but then they give you. I'm not even going to mention them. They give you the other risk factors, and you can look them up if you're interested. But we're just trusting that God, we're going to go through this. It's going to be wonderful. If I have to have the surgery, we're going to get through it, and it'll be 4 to 5 hours of the best sleep I've ever had. And the Lord will visit me through dreams and visions and speak to me and all that stuff. And then we'll move on. And then when the surgery's over, they say about, at least 3 days in the hospital, longer, depending on how your numbers level out. Because what I understand is that because the tumors on the pituitary, in fact, the tumor, not mine, I don't call tumors mine. So I just reject what I was just about to say. The tumor that is apparently on the pituitary gland in my brain actually has my pituitary tilted. So, in any case, the tumor sort of takes over. And so they've got to monitor and make sure the levels are right, because then when they remove that, then the pituitary has to wake up. The tumor's been doing the work, and the pituitary then has to wake up. And I guess there's a possibility that your cortisol levels will drop drastically. They've been so elevated, and the whole, I've been pricking my fingers several times a day for since October, I think now. And so there's all these numbers that are high, but then when you remove that tumor, then they may drop. And so, they want you got to take these steroids so that, it's just a whole list of things and follow up and numbers. So, but they say at least 3 days, more if necessary. Again, I'm not believing that I have to be there longer. I'm believing that all will be well. And so, so that's the situation. And that's the situation that I wanted to to share with you. And again, ask for your prayers for the miracle that would, I go in there and they're like, let's do another scan. Now I've already had 3 brain scans. I've had 3 brain MRIs. One was just about a month ago, just over a month ago. And then I had a scan in my brain. So they've definitely looked. And so the surgeon has no intentions of looking again, although I did, corresponded and asked if yesterday, from the day that I'm recording this. And I asked if they were planning to do another MRI before the surgery. And I was told that was not the case. Then I shared that, I'm praying for a miracle. So I was just kind of suggesting and just saying that, you might want to check again. And so the response came again that, unless there's some significant change, he does not, the nurse said he does not intend to do that. And so, of course, I responded saying, well, that's what a miracle is, a significant change. And then I said, well, Adrian, you might not want to be too snarky with the people who are about to go up in your head. I just want to say, okay, God, however you want to do it. But however you want to do it in terms of how they would be able to find out that a miracle has transpired. But either way, there will be a miraculous thing happen because I'm expecting things to be well. So the belief is that if they can do this surgery successfully, remove the tumor successfully, then your body, adjusts and prayerfully goes back, the diabetes goes away, that weight gain ceases with that cortisol, the high blood pressure issues and all that. So, but of course that remains to be seen how your body reacts to all that. And if they're able to get it all and also obviously avoid various other risks that they say are involved. So, that's it. I wanted to do this podcast and share what, at the time of this recording, I have not shared with many people and not share publicly. I do intend to share with people very, very soon, maybe even this evening, and have as many people praying as possible. But you may not be on my social media where I do tend to share things, but have not shared this. So I wanted you to know. And so if you don't hear from me, hey, this is a good time to go back over some of the podcast episodes that I have already done and listen or watch on YouTube for those episodes that are on YouTube. This one is, of course, on YouTube, but you don't get to see my lovely face because I'm just talking. I'm not recording myself alive, moving Adrian. I just wanted to talk to you and have you listen. But, it's a good time. Go back, listen. And as you know, I cover a lot of different topics from A to Z. Adrian's on it. It's also a good time for you to leave a rating and a review. I ask that you do that. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're able to leave a rating or in a review. I read them on the episodes when I have them, and I appreciate the time that people take. And it doesn't have to be long and drawn out or anything like that, but it's great and it helps tremendously. So thank you for doing that. Those of you who have, and if you haven't, I request that you do. I humbly ask that you do. And also it's a good time to listen to the other podcasts. Go to thebmgnetwork.com, where we have other podcasters who share with you, who are enlightening and informative and engaging and entertaining and all the good things that they bring for you to listen to, for you to have great content. So check out thebmgnetwork.com. Much appreciated. And I'm going to wrap this up and I will catch you soon. I may not miss a beat. I may be back and you would be like, oh, I didn't even know that she was gone, right? So we may not even miss a week. That would be wonderful. But if I do miss a week or two or whatever, you'll know why. All right. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for listening to the Adrian Ross Show. And I'll catch you next time. God bless you abundantly. The Adrian Ross Show was produced and edited in the BMG studio. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod. Find more episodes of the Adrian Ross Show at thebmgnetwork.com. and major podcast platforms. Be sure to tune in regularly. You don't want to miss even one episode.